Brickhouse Productions Premiere. Panoramic lifestyle. A vision moves in all directions.
Yeah. Perez in my city like Vegas. Like Vegas? I need 1 million people screaming my name. Really, I'm not with the bull, I'm stubborn, baby. Maybe I will or maybe I won't, and that's a whole lot of maybes. Got a whole lot of babies. They need some brand new Mercedes. Can't wait till we take flight. No more asking for favors. I got a plug on the west side.
Man, can I fuck around? Can I fuck around, Mr. Producer, Engineer? Can I fuck around? We taking it back, yo. I just want to fuck around for a minute. We are in the quarantine, people. It's your boys. Some of y'all know us as Doc and Ron. Yeah, y'all got to know us real good to know us as Doc and Ron. Some of y'all, majority of y'all know us as Koffe Black and Mr. Jack Brickhouse. We in the building again, and I just want to know from my audience and from my producer and co-host, and can I fuck around? I just want to fuck around for the night, Doc. You know what I'm saying?
You just want to fuck around? You ready to let loose?
I'm ready to let loose, Doc. Listen to me. We have been in this goddamn quarantine for, depending upon what state you in, on your lockdown. If you wanted to, because it's only 9 states now that have not been issued to lock down. But I'm locked down. I am locked down, and content is running low. Okay? All right? Content is running low. And if you're not in the proper business format where you generating your own revenue streams, okay, and you can make money currently in the lockdown, guess what? Content's running low. I've seen everything on Facebook, social media has to offer. I've watched every documentary, listened to a bevy of podcasts while recording a bevy of podcasts, watched everything on Netflix, caught up with every show. Shows I haven't even watched. I've made it through seasons, nigga. Seasons. Hey, dog. When they said they were bumping up Michael Jordan's documentary, listen, if you guys don't know, April 19th, I believe, is the first day on ESPN. Now, listen to me. I know some of y'all thinking, I don't even watch sports. I don't give a fuck. Listen to me. You ain't got to give a fuck about sports to watch this shit. Okay? They did a 10-part, 2-hour each part, 2-hour elapsed time on each part on Michael Jordan. Like you say, oh man, I know everything there is to know about Jordan. I lived Jordan's whole career. Supposedly, from the creators of this, none of this has ever been told. All 20. None of it's ever been told. From accounts of witness accounts that they've got an assortment. Here, go on YouTube and type in ESPN's Michael Jordan documentary. What I'm telling you, everybody, for the most part that I know, cannot wait for April 19th. Like, dude, because that's what we talking about tonight. Like we were discussing it, and we was talking about greatness tonight. We were previously talking about greatness. Like, oh, let's run a show about it. What it is to be great. Can you quantify greatness? Is it just a singular moment? What makes an individual great? You can have great moments. You can have individuals that create great moments. So you can be the creator of the moment. What it's like to experience it from a first-person viewpoint, and what it's like to experience it from a third-person view. You're witnessing it happening in front of you, but nobody has to tell you you feel it, and you understand that what you are witnessing, you've never seen before. And it is undoubtedly great. This is like, it's not being a prisoner of the moment. No, you understand what you are experiencing is greatness.
And like right now, this is like you just said, there's a lot of people anticipating this April 19th. I am definitely one of those people. But it's one of those things. It's like right now we can sit here and we hypothetically, we talk about this, and like you said, that's kind of what the show is built around. But what sucks is, I don't know, what is it going to be now? Like, it's a 10-part series, so 10 weeks out, if it's a show every week, I don't know if they're going to run it every day, whatever it is. You go through this whole process, and we're going to go through this whole experience, and you're going to learn all of these things about Jordan. And then the experience ends, and now it's just his memory.
That's it.
That's it. And because you can never go back to not seeing that shit or not experiencing. You can't go back to this moment again. Where it's pre,
you
right?
Not the anticipation moment.
You can't ever get back to that.
You'll never get back to it ever again, because you don't know what you're. Don't know what you're going to experience.
Right.
You don't know what's happening. Now, some things are hyped up in which you expect. There's a level of expectation that this is going to be that. Now, partly that's because people got to sell this shit because there's always fucking money involved with a spectacle.
Right.
But for the most part, like even now, in today's world, there's levels of the anticipation of greatness. But the reason is because whatever you're witnessing has been deemed great once before already. And so can we capture this same? I remember you telling me at the time when I was starting my comedic career that all you got to do is be great one time. That's it. Not good. Don't mistake. Don't make a mistake in thinking you can be good one time. Like, you be good. You've got to be great just one time. And people will continually pay you, or people will continually give you an opportunity just so you can be great. You can capture that moment again.
That's it. Perfect.
It's going to be a different moment.
It's going to be a different moment.
It's going to be a different moment. But to experience that greatness. Like, dude.
It's like D Rose, right? People took a chance on D Rose. Yeah, Derrick Rose. He had injuries or whatever, but people will still take a gamble on him even now because you don't want to be the team that passes up on Derrick Rose on his one great season and pops back out again towards the backside of his career.
The backside of his career, because he's still serviceable.
He's still serviceable. If D Rose comes out here, even if he doesn't win a chip, let's say he goes deep in the playoffs, still you want that to happen. Because, again, it's about the team. But if D Rose, the hype that's around D Rose, if he has a great season with you, all of that comes to your team. All that attention and all of that, all the extra shit come with that.
Ticket sales, all that come with it.
All that come with it. So you want that.
The cup runneth over from greatness. That's really the first sign of greatness. Is your greatness affecting others around you? Not even from like within an arm's reach. I'm not even talking about the fans or the ones that was there to see the spectacle of your greatness, like where literally the individuals from within an arm's reach around you, they are now affected by it. This guy's business, this guy wants you there all the time. Or they want you involved. They want to get a piece of you. They need to get a piece of you. Now, nowadays, people want to get a piece of you because they see the potential for greatness. Potential for greatness is not as valuable as greatness, of course, but I would say it's a strong market just for potential greatness.
Oh, huge.
Where you listen, you have absolutely no fucking idea if this person is going to be great. You just the assumption. Now you're looking at and you got what do they call it? Factors and skills and you got a resume and you know you got these charts on, okay, generally speaking, this says this is a great high probability that this individual is going to be great. This person could die. This person could get injured. This person could have, like, you know what I'm saying? We're still humans. We're still an uncontrollable variable. You know what I'm saying? Things change at a moment's notice. But just the potential to be great, it is a huge market for right now. Like, instead of just letting it happen and be there, because now everybody wants to make sure they get a part of it. So, a lot of times, just so they can say they were a part of your greatness. Ain't that a bitch? It's not enough to say. Back in the day, it was like, I witnessed greatness. Now motherfuckers want to say, yo, I was a part of that shit. I was with fam. I was with him that night in the locker room.
Everybody want a piece.
Everybody want a piece.
Everybody want a piece. All right.
Because them saying that elevates them. It absolutely, yo, fam, the hanger-ons. The hanger-ons is what they call them. The hanger-ons. And listen, it's just not in sports. There's hanger-ons everywhere. Everywhere. Like, in all phases of life. Fuck around and become a neurosurgeon. See how many hang-arounds you got. Well, I mean, you really doing a lot of studying, so you really ain't got time to hang with nobody. But the immediate people that you keep in contact with, they gonna boast and brag about you because you're a fucking neurosurgeon. Let somebody you know need brain surgery, they gonna say, hey, I got a guy. Like, you're their guy.
Because you're great.
Simply because you're great. So, like,
and you can be the worst neurosurgeon, but you're still great because you at least made it to neurosurgeon.
You just made it to neurosurgeon. I saw. I fucking hate social media. You know this. It's a pet peeve of mine, but it's something I have to be a part of. So I was perusing Facebook, and a buddy of mine, he's a comic too. He cracked a joke, and it was something about the Olympics and Olympians or whatever. And he was making a comparison. It was some like comparing contrasts or whatever, like little post message, and it was about being an Olympian and the difference between being an Olympian and Olympic gold medal winner. And so this guy comes, this local guy, he responds and he goes, oh, well, it's still as prestigious. He like tried to talk shit to him, like going to the Olympics is just as prestigious as winning a medal. And as soon as I read that shit, normally I don't respond, but I had to check him. I was like, hey, bro, get the fuck out of here. Listen to me. You've never heard anybody that won any medal in the Olympics introduced as an Olympian. It's a big difference between being an Olympian and winning a medal.
Oh yeah, no, being there is definitely.
Being there is oh my God, yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
But there's clearly a fucking difference. Yeah,
being a 3-time Olympian is cool, and getting announced 3-time Olympian Jack Brickhouse.
And I get a moderate little
yeah, it'll be like, woo!
And then
Olympic gold winning champion. Nigga, I just won one. You said 3 times, bro. And I won one.
And
you were there 3 times, and you still haven't experienced what I've experienced in being a champion.
Being great.
Bro, it's a difference. And
it is.
so, and then it's different degrees. So that's what we want to talk about. Like, what defines, like, if you have a great moment, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're great. Like, I think in measuring greatness, it's you achieving greatness and reaching that plateau. And then how much longevity do you have over a certain amount of time performing at that level?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could be great one time, and that's awesome. Like, seriously, it's awesome. And I mean, and again, not good. I'm talking
great.
about
We talking
great.
We're talking a one-hit wonder. We're talking
right.
Like people in that they come out and do one thing and it's like the greatest thing ever. But they can't maintain it.
They can't fucking maintain it.
That's the hardest part.
For whatever reason.
That's the hardest part.
You guys think, first of all, being in the arena, okay? Theodore Roosevelt, the man in the arena.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Listen, that alone, okay, to be invited to the arena is a feat in itself, because you had to work hard at some point in your life. At some point in your life, you had to fucking work hard to be the man/woman in the arena.
Right.
Because everybody's not invited. Okay? It's a reason for the word prestige. All right? Prestigious means elite. And you can have a lot of elite motherfuckers, right? But, okay, Harvard Law is a prestigious school of law. And they probably, have 100 or so, however many graduates they have, that they put out or whatever. But so Harvard's a good school anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Harvard, like to make it to Harvard is the shit.
Period. From around the world.
From around the world. It's
not just domestically.
It's a lot of motherfuckers that want to go to Harvard. It's a lot of motherfuckers, after they go to Harvard, they want to go to Oxford or some shit. Or, you know what I'm saying, whatever, or Brown, or this, that, and other. But, that's major. But then, okay, I'm a Harvard student trying to get into Harvard Law. Okay, that is and then you get in, and then you got to graduate from that motherfucker. And then once you graduate from that motherfucker, it doesn't stop there, because, dude, it's been 1,000, at least at this point in life, that's graduated from Harvard Law cumulatively.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, way more. Okay?
Yeah.
So now they're already out there, and now they're getting experience. So now you got to come out there and you got to rise above all those motherfuckers that's probably been in the game 20 years. You got to be what we're talking about is special. Like, special. You got that it factor. It is something else about you that cannot be described, but they call it it. Whatever it is, they call it. It's just like when you see it, you know it. You're going to recognize it. As soon as you see it, you'll recognize it. That's what we're talking about. That's how I define greatness. Having a great moment, and then how long can you perform at that level?
So, did you see
how do you define it?
How do I find it?
It's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. uh, greatness, I guess I'll describe how you get there. It's a lot of discipline. There's a lot of fucking sacrifice. And those are the main two things that are happening that all cause stress.
A lot of pain.
A lot of pain. It's much more. How would you describe it, Black? I would say more frequently there's all this negative shit that you deal with, but the moments that you actually get to enjoy what the fuck it is you're working for is like the best shit ever. But it's only you only really get that shit in glimpses, right?
No.
And you know what it's like. It's like when you working at a job you don't want to work at, and then payday comes around, and then you're getting paid decently. You're like, oh shit, I can stick this shit out for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like that same shit.
No, listen, bro, man. To be great is hard fucking work.
It's tough,
and you coming across a lot of bullshit. The motherfuckers that's great, man. Listen to me. They busting their ass to do so. There's a difference between hard work and talent now. What's the saying? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I always like to tell people, anytime some Joe Schmo comes up to me, hey, Koffe, you're talented, but hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I always be like, yeah, well, what about when talent does work hard? That's what we talking about. That's greatness.
That's great.
When you talented and you working hard, that means nobody's sitting in the room with you. That's why Jordan is still talked about to this fucking day and debated on to this day. And what's crazy about it is it wasn't like when the shit started, like when basketball started, like he was there, and that first wave of players, he had done something back then that nobody has done right now. So he's like, oh man, he was the greatest one. Well, he was in the first batch, so he dominated shit. No. This motherfucker, like, I just well, not just, but like in the past 2-3 years realized, like, my kids love his shoes. My kids love his shoes. And they've never seen that motherfucker play.
Right. At all.
Like, it's motherfuckers in the NBA that never saw Michael Jordan play.
Yeah. It's been there for some years.
Has been there in the league for years and have never seen him. They just know him to be great. And you know what? YouTube, I think if you weren't there for it, for certain things, watching the replay of it doesn't give you, I don't know, it doesn't do anything for me. Like, I watched the Muhammad Ali and George Foreman fight. I watched the replay of it. I've seen it shown on HBO. I've watched documentaries on it, and I've seen the fight on ESPN. At least 3 times I've watched that whole fight. And it's amazing. But it doesn't do anything for me. Because I was not there in the time when that shit happened.
The experience,
you know
because there's so many underlying, other aspects of big
mitigating
events.
factors for sure.
Yeah, of just, when it's a huge event in general, like, when a championship happens, like there's all these underlying storylines that, like you say with the Ali, how long ago was that? 40, 50 years ago? Roughly, is when that was. So, everything.
If not longer.
Yeah, if not longer. So, everything is I don't know, relative, I guess. But like I say, with big events, man, there's this experience and this energy that come with it, and they come with the time and come with being there. And like, I know everybody's, jumping into this whole virtual space and having virtual parties and virtual happy hours. I heard some corporate people inviting me. Like, I'm not getting on a computer and drinking with you. I'm sorry. I'm not. It's like it's okay.
Not a great moment.
It's not.
Are you saying you can't? Are you saying you can't have a great moment?
No, I'm not experiencing it. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at my screen. You looking at your fucking screen. Everybody else is looking at their screen, and everything else is still happening in the background for the people. Like the dog is still barking, the baby's still crying, the spouse is whatever the fuck is going on is still happening. Like we didn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? So nobody's really letting their hair down because we set I guess mentally if you're taking a trip, but now. So I guess with the quarantine, what the prison said, you got to read a book. So this is our way of getting loose, I guess. But no, man, I just haven't participated in it. I know. I mean, I think I'm not shooting it down. I think it's great for everybody to work to stay connected and some people try to maintain their greatness, like all the people who were doing the late night TV shows, the Fallons and all them. Now. You were great in a television studio, in a $1 million television studio.
Yeah.
Can you be great in the confines of your own crib with bare minimum production and all of the extra shit? This isn't when you find out who's great. Whoever gets replaced as this new format changes here, they were great, but their time has passed, and it's time for somebody else to come and be great because it's a different platform.
I'm telling you what, man, they're working hard too, man. God,
they're working hard as fuck. It's much different.
It is some shitty content out there. Mm-hmm. People are motherfucking finding out who the hell is essential right now.
Right now,
this word essential. Are you an essential worker? Are you this? The world on both sides is finding out who's essential. Motherfuckers that thought they were essential, guess what? You not essential.
You're not essential at all.
And the people that you didn't think are essential, they are really motherfucking essential. Who would have thought grocery store? What if grocery store workers had a union and was like, fuck this shit, we not getting sick? Like, dude, we'd be fucked.
Yeah.
We'd be fucked.
DoorDash, all those people.
Nigga, the goddamn nurses is doing it right now.
The nurses, somebody's right now.
And they essential.
And they essential as fuck.
Like but
that's being great though. They're being great right now. This is their great moment. People are going to get rewarded from that.
Listen, some motherfuckers is getting ready to catch some lawsuits out of this from a few nurses, and some nurses, they can't see it now. And I hear the complaints, and everything they saying is spot on. They being mistreated. You know, they were highly underpaid, you know, because I tell a lot of people sometimes, you know, you get paid for what you know, not what you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people like, oh, man, all you do is you sit down, you this, that, and other, man. You push buttons, man. You ain't doing no hard work. Some people's mentality of working means that you should be working hard.
Right.
That's it. Like working hard, physically working hard, like
mentally,
yeah,
all the way around, all the way
around. When absolutely you could be getting paid for what you know, knowledge, and skills that you know in like nurses for years. You know, they go to work, they got them long ass hours. You know, a lot of them single, you know, they got families, this, that, and other. But when it's go time, that's what you get paid for. You get paid for go time. That's when you earn your pay. And right now, it's unprecedented what they're dealing with. They've never dealt with it before. This generation of nurses, they've never dealt with anything like this before. I can only imagine the nurses that had the first flu epidemic.
Oh, influenza?
The influenza.
Yeah, I think that's like 1921 or 1917, some shit like that.
Could you imagine them goddamn nurses and what the fuck they had going on?
What you think is the same shit? You know, as far again, the strategy of the strategy and the resources are different, but it was this exact same shit.
Yeah, they were unprecedented. Nobody knew nothing.
Nobody knew anything.
And they couldn't get information to each other in the manner in time in which we can get information to each other.
That's what I'm saying. Different resources, exactly. Yeah, it's completely different.
I'm pretty sure the nurses from 1921 looking down like, yeah, you motherfuckers is tripping. Y'all got all this bullshit and y'all don't know what to do. Man,
don't know what to do.
Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Diane, come look at these retarded motherfuckers now. Man, look, come on. Come on, man. These motherfuckers tripping. Bitch, quit complaining. Put on your goddamn scrubs or your trash can. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's some motherfuckers that seen so much, it's nothing to them. Yeah. And when they walk up to you, it's because it's time. It's experience. Time is a part of experience.
Yeah, and I think
you know what I'm saying? Time is what is it? In math, so you would say it is a portion of the equation.
Oh, yeah, of the overall, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Again, you know, hey, I didn't spend a lot of time, okay, in higher learning, so I'm not as experienced in proper verbiage. See how that works, people? Now take the reverse. But yeah, time is part of the equation for experience. You need to have time.
When you are considered great or revered as being great, like you just said, people approach you and you know, people put you on this pedestal and you stand there and you look at people with confidence, like you just said, because you've seen it all, you've seen every play. But what's not mentioned in that greatness and you know, it's great to experience that part of it, but all the shit that you dealt with to get there, all the sacrifice that you had to, you know, to put up to learn those lessons, and more so the failures that you had. Like that failure is a huge part of being great. All right. And usually failing over and over again is a huge part of greatness.
Over and over again, which nobody wants to do because that shit sucks.
It sucks. And a lot of people quit. Right? That's why it's way too much, and the shit can be a burden. And listen, I'm not on a pedestal. I don't blame people to quit. I think about quitting every day. Every fucking day. I want to goddamn quit. This shit is fucking hard.
Yeah, man.
This shit is hard as fuck, right? You just, I mean, so when people quit, I'm like, damn, I see and I understand, because legitimately, you know, when I'm talking with people, I try to break it down. I say, look, let me tell you what this shit really is going to look like. This is the work you're going to have to do. And let's just all be honest right here up front. If you're not willing to do this work, let's not even go down this road. It's not.
Listen, you know what? The easiest example of that is body image. Motherfuckers see these chicks on Instagram and Facebook and models and influencers and athletes, and they be like, oh man, she snatched, or oh my god, her body is so tight, or damn, motherfucker is swole, he cut up, woo. Like, they want that, right? And some of them say, I'm gonna get out here because I'm trying to look good in the summer of 2020. I'm getting on my diet shit. I'm finna be out here. I want to be able to flex on them. I'm trying to walk out. It's so funny. Women don't want to be objectified, but there's a lot of women like, I'm trying to walk around naked this summer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look.
Yeah. All day. I've heard that.
I'm calling you out. I might not be the one to call you out, but I'm calling y'all out. I swear to God. I know too many. That's the goal. They won't admit it publicly when it's convenient. Goddamn, when you got a motherfucker on the ropes.
Yeah.
I was being objectified. Hey, check this out though. When they not listen, women want that attention. Oh my, women admire other women, and they be like, oh my god, oh she looks great, and then they start the process, or they see the process of what they have to do to look like that, and then they be like, Man, fuck that shit. You know how many women be like, yo, man, they just fall off. They just fall off. And so then they start lowering their expectations. Well, I don't want to look like her necessarily. I just want to be toned up a little bit.
Yeah.
Dog, you know how painful that shit is? Now, even with the surgeries, elective surgery now. Motherfuckers be like, oh, man, I'm getting elective surgery. Guess what? Yeah, you going to look like that this summer. Absolutely. You getting this surgery. That recovery pain, though. You going through some shit. And then you got to maintain it.
And again, that's the difference. So right there, that is the deciding point. Going back to those people, like you said. Some people say, fuck that shit. You know what we call those people? Pretenders. You pretended that you pretended that you wanted the success.
That's true.
And in the end game, right? So it was good. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go. And you said to yourself, I'm gonna go get that. I see that. That's the goal. I'm gonna go get that until you learn what the work was. Right? Once you learn what the work, then you quit. Yeah. So don't go and try to tear down the next person who said, oh, I see what the work is, and this shit finna be a sacrifice. And like you said, going through the recovery. And so now I'm here. And so that's why, in this case, if somebody went and got the surgery and they flexed on the ground, they went in, you know, if they had to do the surgery right and lay on the table, they did that. Whereas you quit.
Yep.
And that shit, with you being in comedy, how many niggas come to you talking about they want to get down and be a stand-up comic? And then you take them out there and then they disappear.
Oh, man, listen. Oh, excuse me. That's what my mic. Listen. Dude, motherfuckers, when I first started, you know what I'm saying, you get when you first start doing anything like that, your first supporters are going to be your friends, your family, people around you, this, that, and that. And that's cool. And they'll come out and, you know, they'll pack out a show, which is great for the promoter because they sold tickets and all that. And so the whole point of all this is you want to create a following. In anything, you want to create a following. But you realize rather quickly that it's not always going to be like that. And the majority of it is just you out there. And you don't have supporters out there. And you got to come out there and perform in front of these strangers. You got to come out here. You got to make them laugh. Or you're a musician. You got to play them notes right. Have your pitch on. But in comedy, bro, they'll be like, oh, man. They'll see it and then they'll try to hit me up in the inbox. Yo, bro, that's what's up, man. Congratulations, just that another. Man, I always wanted to do that shit. Yada, 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 yada. I be like, all right, well, shit, nigga, hit me up. Come on out here and check it out. And they be like, man, I don't know how you do that shit. You talking in front of people. And like that's like in the top 5 fears, too, is public speaking.
That's huge, man.
I think it's like in the top 5 fears.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, people are terrified.
They're terrified. And you try to explain it to them, and then they come out, and you be like, all right. You give them like a preseason playbook. You know, right. Just, all right, it's simple, blah, 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 this, that, and other. And then they come out, and they do it, and they be like, all right, no, fuck this. I've hosted open mics where there was somebody in the crowd, and through crowd work, I found out that they were there, you know, but a lot of people sometimes when they want to do it, they come and observe first. They do an observation to see what it's like to be in a room, to be in an open mic. You know, they're trying to dress on and putting on a panty, you know what I'm saying? Like they're working it up. They're working it up, you know, before the show. And to see if they can actually get up there and do it. And I'm like, you came out here tonight just to observe, or you came out here to do it? So I push them. I'm like, all right, come on. Like, oh, no, fuck that. Come on. Like, what other time? You're already in the building. You're here, and you're getting the opportunity to do it. If you wondered whether or not you can do it, no greater time than right now. Because, one, tomorrow ain't promised to you. And something might happen tomorrow that will affect you being able to go tomorrow night or the next day and the next day. You know what I'm saying? And then you say, okay, I'm going to come back next Monday. And then you don't. Or you can't. And then that fear starts resettling itself in you, and then it's a problem. Like, that shit happens more than you know. And then you get people that get in the game and they take off and they're working and they realize it is not as easy as what the fuck they thought it was.
Nah.
And it's way more technical than what they think it is. And they just filter away. They filter away. Because you got to be or they have a good run, and then they bomb, and it's so devastating they don't want to feel it again, and they're embarrassed, and that's their experience, and they failed. They feel like they failed, and that's it. Listen
and
to me, man.
They can't come back.
Bro, that is excruciating. I'll describe what bombing's like right now for our listeners, especially right now in this quarantine. It's a lot of our listeners, progressive workers, and you guys are probably still working from home, or a lot of people on IG chat live and you know, doing all this shit or whatever, or you know, you're on Messenger, that visual messenger shit. Anyway, a lot of people are using Zoom now, right? And you have to do these conference calls, these video conference calls. And you be doing a video conference call. This ever happened to y'all? You do a video conference call and you are doing your little soliloquy or whatever, and then you stop because you're finished and you're waiting for the feedback, and the screen freezes, or there's a delay.
Or
and that,
you left your mic on pause.
Yeah.
And then muted, I should say. You didn't unmute your mic. That's the worst.
Yeah. And then you don't hear anything. And you're like, oh shit. You immediately go, oh shit. Either it's, well, what the fuck is wrong? Did they not hear me? Or, oh, did I say something fucked up? That's what bombing is. That's a smidgen of what it feels like to the comic. You drop your punchline and there's nothing. That silence is, fuck. So imagine you got to do 20 minutes and you're at minute like 3 and nothing's went over. And then you at minute 6 and nothing's went over. And you got 14 more minutes of that shit.
And if you want your check or you want your cash,
you got to make it.
You better come up with something.
You got to do something. And then the boos start happening, and the heckling starts happening. And
but you know
what makes minutes left.
what makes you great, and that's where you learn your greatness, is being able to come back from that crowd that's born.
Yeah.
Or just getting rowdy and recapturing and recontrolling that shit. You then become great.
If you recapture the motherfuckers, you've just pulled off something great. Like, it was a shitty night when you pulled a rabbit out. You had a great moment, right? That gives you the confidence. The next time, I know how to handle this. You feel more confident that you can handle it the next time it happens. And after you bomb and you feel that horrible pain, you go out the next night and you do it again. And you do it again, 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 and you keep on fucking doing it. Because you're gonna have a bad night. Motherfuckers talk about Jordan. It's one thing that always, like, kind of irks me as a sports fan, and the hype around Jordan, is motherfuckers talk about Jordan like he never missed a shot. Like,
oh, yeah. Oh, shit.
Like ever.
I seen Jordan have a 4-point game, 2 or 4-point game, a couple of them.
Yeah.
I remember one specifically. And it was like a major game.
Bro, Jordan had nights when he only had 17.
Yeah.
He only had a dub. He didn't score 50 points every fucking time, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, was he incredible? This motherfucker had a lot of great nights.
Oh,
God
man.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, great nights, great years. And even he took major L's. He put up 63. He put up 63 points in the game against the Celtics. Larry Bird said he was Jesus in gym shoes. And them motherfuckers lost.
Lost the game. Lost the game.
Like, if you put up 63 points in the game and you lose, let me tell you something. That's empty calories, baby. It don't matter. I don't give a shit what if you don't get your hand raised at the end, then it's empty calories. There's a portion of that will be looked at as empty calories. Now, you know, you took away a lot from it. You can bust a motherfucker at this, that, you know, all right, I'm good. But it's definitely going to be viewed. It could be a lot of times some people look at it like, God damn, you made it all the way there and it didn't happen. Fuck it. What's the point now? Now you looking for, well, what the fuck is the point of trying to do that shit again? I made it all the way there. Oh, some people, the optimistic thing is, oh, well, shit, next time it could be your time. And the other side is all that work for nothing. There's people that view it like, man, you busted your ass for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You busted your ass for nothing. Nah, man. Like, we were talking about anticipation of greatness. And there's another portion of the non-anticipation. Right? Nobody was anticipating anything. And which one is better to experience?
I like that.
Which one is better to experience? The one that you didn't see coming, or the one that you anticipated coming, and it lived up to every bit of your expectations? Because some people, like, sometimes you could live up to expectations, and it's just like, oh, well, I expected him to do that, so that wasn't anything special.
Yeah, so are you asking the expectations of me, of how I?
No, yes.
Do I prefer to have people expect more of me or less of me, and be great? Or
no. I'm asking you. Oh, not internalizing it. Even though we can do that too. I like that.
Yeah.
We can go there too.
Yeah.
But for you, if you had to choose to in witnessing greatness,
right,
would it be more enjoyable to you if you anticipated whatever you were getting ready to witness be great, and then it happens? Are you more elated that way? Like, oh my God, I knew this was going to be good. I knew this was going to be good. Yeah. Fuck, it was amazing. I knew it. And it paid off that you knew it, or you were just somewhere and you're witnessing that thing happen and you were like, holy shit, is this fucking happening right now?
Yeah.
What the fuck did I just see? Oh my God. Oh, whoa. Oh, what the fuck? You know, the hand on your head, the Macaulay Culkin, the hand on your head, your mouth open. Holy shit. Oh, and you're looking for somebody else, and hopefully they saw what you saw and experienced and then you guys are realizing or trying to figure out without being able to verbalize anything what the fuck just happened. What did we witness? Which one is better? Which one do you think is better? Anticipation of greatness or the other? Non-anticipation. I didn't know it was coming.
So a good I didn't know it was coming, and you probably seen that too. You remember was that last season? Or was that in going into the playoffs or at the end of the regular season? Oh no, I think it was in the playoffs when Dame Dollar Damian Lillard hit that three, that walk off and waved them off.
Oh my God!
Right, that was a great moment. That was that moment you just said when you grab your head and you look around like, what the fuck?
What the fuck did I just? Oh yeah! Oh my God! Yeah.
That's great. That's great. However, I lean the other way, only because I like pressure. I like seeing the hype. I like the hype like this. I like something being huge and being built up and to the point where, you know, everybody buys into it. And then, like you say, you get into it. And what I like about it is of course, is everything. Is the whole aura of the experience and all of that shit happening. But what I'm looking at more so is whatever this event that's being hyped up, somebody's being put on a stage or on a soapbox. And in this case, it's Jordan again. And these people
again. Again. God damn it!
Because although he was great, this documentary can suck ass. It can be a horrible fucking thing.
Dog, that would be so horrible.
Imagine that. Imagine you fucked up the GOATs documentary.
Oh, so it's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, right? And so that's what I like, though. Because Jordan again has to step back up here on the stage. And this is what we talking about with greatness. When you can maintain greatness like Jordan did from the shoes and the movie and all the other shit he did, and here he is in his latter years. People don't come together like this. Like you just said, cats are waiting for this Jordan thing to watch.
Motherfuckers are trying to stay alive.
Women, so and you and I used to say that after the Super Bowl, we would shake hands and say, well, we lived another. And then we would say, all right, we just got to make it to the next Super Bowl.
Yeah, we just got to make it to the next one. After year after year, we did it every time. Even when we weren't together, we would call. I would immediately call afterwards and go, well, and that was that.
That was that. Hopefully, we made another. We lived. Hopefully, we can do this again next year, right? And so now we shooting this show, and what is it? What's today? It's like 7-8 days out, whatever. Where we are, about 8 days out from this, and and it seems so simple, but look how coronavirus came. Coronavirus is great.
Yes, I keep on telling people that, and
they don't want to
hear it. I keep on getting backlash. I keep on getting a lot of backlash, and I had to realize, Koffe, you got to shut the fuck up, man. You
can't say that.
You can't be saying that. They don't have minds. Everybody doesn't have a mind like you. Coronavirus is exceptional.
When it comes to viruses.
When it comes to viruses, hey man, like you talking about this one. Hey, listen, you talking about a hold my beer moment? Hey, I bet you can't make the world stop. Hold my beer. In fact, hold my Corona.
I'll be back.
I'll be right back.
Here we are.
Dude, coronavirus. Listen, I will say this, though. There's been a lot of great moments that has come out of this shit as far as content. It's been a lot of great. I have seen greatness within this shit. I was like, oh, my God. That was I've seen some impressive stuff that wouldn't have happened without this. I think we mentioned it before, like the DJs and the producers of music, like trying to figure out, okay, people are losing their goddamn minds. Entertainment has always kept people's sanity through hard times and has always been an outlet for people. And again, that's why they get paid what they get paid. They are great. And I think, what was it? This past weekend, T-Pain and Lil Jon did like a versus battle. Like they're both individuals. They curated like 20 songs apiece and went at it song for song on Instagram. And there was 300,000 plus people in that live feed And the 300,000 plus weren't just randoms. It was heavy hitter, social icons, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. They were in that feed and were losing their minds off of music. It almost felt like the first night since this shit started because the people that didn't see it, they were clamoring the next day to try to find it. It was trending. Like at one point, I'm pretty sure it was number one at one point. That shit was fucking crazy to witness. And you could feel the energy. It was the first time where you felt the energy for me. Well, let me not say it's the first time. Because I've felt that energy when you're gridlocked in on a program and you're watching it from home or wherever, where you're gridlocked and you could feel the energy. I don't know, unless you're a fan of sports or
it's hard to find it anywhere else.
Or entertainment. It's hard to find it anywhere else outside of entertainment where it just captures everybody and you can feel it coming through the screen. Yeah, I can't think of any other.
But that's why Super Bowl, championships, and all that shit.
Championships, all that shit. March Madness.
Yeah,
just had March Madness.
Yeah,
dude, like where you feel that fucking energy. Just, man, I don't know. For me, and I'm a sports junkie, but I'm a moment junkie. I believe in living in the moment because I think there's a portion of our lives where we're not living in the moment, where there's nothing else exists but right then and right there. And I think those are where the great memories are generally are made. Moments that we talk about, bring back up. So, yeah, like I would say, I understand your point on pressure.
Yeah, I love it.
And watching somebody perform under pressure,
of
anticipation, what they've built up, who they are, can they deliver the goods? There's definitely.
That's it.
There's a little bit more sauce on there. There's a little bit more spice.
A little bit more.
Season.
Yeah, because you again, you had to, just like everybody else is anticipating this. The shit is about you. So you're locked into the shit, and so you come in, and again, all this hype is there. The fucking energy is there. The cameras are there, and then whatever happened. We talking about sports. The game starts, and you're nervous just like everybody else, but you watch, and some people crumble under that pressure. And some people rise to the fucking occasion, and again, it's like they're possessed. You remember Kobe's last game? What a hell of a last game! You talking about feeling the energy?
Oh my God!
Now that is a moment, as you want to talk about. That's a moment that just kind of blows your mind. That I'm happy that kind of rivals those moments because Kobe was having a bad fucking game.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, like the energy just came in this nigga, and it's like the more and more people start tuning into the game, the more points this nigga starts scoring.
He felt it, like people call it momentum. I'm sure there's other words for it, and especially in other language to describe it. Forgive me that my etymology is not that well-rounded, but he had to feel the energy from the world that night that lifted him up. 40-something years old, the kid that was guarding him when Kobe came into the league, the kid wasn't even born.
Yeah.
And he said, I could not believe I was standing next to the guy. He was like, I've never seen Jordan play. I grew up knowing who he was and seeing some clips on YouTube, but Kobe to me is was my Michael Jordan. He was the greatest player I ever seen play in my life. And I'm literally guarding him right now. And Kobe put 60 on that motherfucker.
Torched him.
60. And
on his last game.
Close. Like, that was tight. Against a quality team.
Yeah.
When you look at the Lakers and what they were, and the Utah Jazz and what they were, like, they were very young, and now they're a perennial team. And they've been trending, and they've been a perennial team. Well, like a solid playoff team, building, good program, good organization. And it's Kobe. It's his last game. His family's there. Everybody that is somebody is in the building. And then everybody that's a nobody, that is somebody to somebody else, is in the building.
Oh, yeah.
If y'all can follow, don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You spark something up, or if you progressive thinking, you picked up what I was just putting down. They're in the building. And they're all there to see you. That is pressure. And you deliver. Not only do you deliver, you win the fucking bro. That was like Derek Jeter with that walk-off homer.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that. Bro. Ray Lewis.
Oh, man.
Going out a champion.
Yeah. Well.
Peyton Manning. The same. It's some moments. Listen. I do not like missing moments of greatness, whether it be a great game, a great play. I'm trying to tune into everything. So I'm a nut, right? Well, around in the Midwest, you know this. In the Midwest, around Valentine's Day is the NBA All-Star weekend. So this was what was this? Was this 2000? When Vince Carter? Was that 2000 with Vince Carter?
Was that 2000? And maybe you're right.
Hold on. Wait a minute. What? Because we are both recording from separate locations, but we do have. Where's Greg at? Hey, Greg, you listening? Hey, look that up. Somebody look that up. Vince Carter put on the greatest slam dunk performance in a slam dunk competition ever. I remember where I was at. I remember I missed it, and I taped it because I had TiVo, and I taped it. And I remember at that time, my phone started blowing up. And everybody's like, dude, did you fucking see what Vince Carter did tonight? I'm like, no, I'm taped it. I'm getting ready to watch it right now. And so they had already experienced it. And so my experience was on the delay. My experience was on a delay. And I watched that shit, and I was losing my mind. And even though I lost my mind, it still wasn't the fucking same. Because I didn't experience it at the exact time it was fucking happening. Right? Like, to be the one providing the greatness, like I've had solid moments on stage. And I've had memorable moments on stage. But I can think of just one particular time where I was on stage and I was great. Like there, and I know that sounds like, number one, biased, and also like very arrogant, because
no, you know what? Fuck that.
People, you're never as great as you are, and you're never as bad as what you did. But it was one of those moments where the whole night felt different. And you hear it the majority of the time in entertainment, in sports, where they say when they're describing what happened that everybody witnessed that was great, an iconic moment, and they're like, listen, something was different. And that night, something was different leading up to the moment I grabbed that mic. And that was, man, that 25 minutes on stage was crazy. I was gridlocked and locked in, and I know at least up to this point in my career, that was the greatest night I had on stage. And I fucked up.
And still ran it through.
Absolutely fucked up.
But again, that's what makes you great. But no, going back to what you said, people, like you just said, you can't come out and say that you're great. Other people can say that you're great as much as they want. But if you come out and say it, then everybody gets in the uproar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can't. That's another thing about being great. You can't proclaim your own greatness.
You can't. No matter how many times.
Well,
how many accolades you get.
Ali did it. Ali said, "I am the greatest," but then he backed it up.
Yeah. Hey, and that's what greatness is. That is the only Floyd. Everybody hated Floyd because he came out and said, "Hey, I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. Period." And that was the allure. Like, that's what you and I were talking about. You watched, either you hated him or you loved him, but you felt some way about it, and you bought the fight to see him win, or you bought the fight to possibly see him lose. That was a mind.
That was a mind trick thing of pressure, of applying that extra hurdle for you. Yep. I'm going to come out here and say I'm fucking great.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't say that you're great. No, I'm going to say that I'm great. And then I'm going to continually put myself in situations in which I can prove my fucking greatness.
I can prove
that I'm great. Time and time again.
And that's the setup.
And that's absolutely the setup.
That's the way. And people don't like it.
People absolutely don't like it. People want to categorize you all the time. They are the deciding factor. And a lot of people have the viewpoint of, if you're great, you don't have to say it because it's going to be known. You'll never have to say it. It's going to be known. And that was one of the things about Jordan. Jordan never came out and said that he was the best. He just strived to be. And people categorized him as the best. And I'm not saying that you have to go that route, because Ali clearly didn't go that route, and that motherfucker was the best. But then you have people that come out and say, yo, no, I witnessed Mike Tyson. I witnessed Mike Tyson. That is the fucking greatest. Because everybody doesn't and that was another thing. Like, as time goes on, again, it's you hear the debates on who was the best all time. Who's the best all fucking time? And they try to come up with different charts and formulas to decide, and stats and statistics and this, that, and other. And you got to remember, I don't like comparing greatness. Like, if it's a great motherfucker and another great motherfucker, and they both in the same like faction, I don't like comparing greatness. I don't. I feel like they could be separate.
So wait. Let me stop you there. So
the greatest ever of all time. Like, I don't like that.
So as you say that, Terry Bradshaw, I just got this alert. Terry Bradshaw names 3 quarterbacks better than Tom Brady.
See,
just like that.
And let me tell you something. Listen. I used to love. Well, I like Terry Bradshaw as a commentator, and at the desk, but Terry Bradshaw got to get the fuck out of here, man.
He was great. Terry Bradshaw was great.
And Terry Bradshaw was great. And Koffe Black is absolutely saying on the airwaves, Terry Bradshaw got to get the fuck out of here. And yes, is it his opinion? Oh, and I can hear him now. Oh, but it's his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion. Yes, he is entitled to his opinion. And he also got to get the fuck out of here with his opinion. Like, dude, no, bro, what? Listen, hey, man. I battled on a video game with Peyton Manning. Like, people think Peyton Manning was the sheriff in real life, and he absolutely was. He absolutely was. But on Madden, on the video game, I can argue that the Madden version of Peyton Manning was better than the real life version.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely.
I went to wars with this motherfucker, Peyton. And an assassin. But Peyton Manning is the greatest regular season quarterback of all time.
And that's not a bad stat.
He's not. This motherfucker is great. Now, mind you, he's great. And he's got 2 Super Bowls in an illustrious long career. Tom Brady has what? 7? 6?
5, 6. 5 or 6.
He's got 6.
6.
Fam. Tom, bro. Now understand where Tom Brady came from if y'all don't know. Tom Brady was a 7th round draft pick. Yes, 7th round. Yeah, he was a 7th round draft pick out of Michigan. Now, I'm going to tell y'all what. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Yes, Koffe Black ass is a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan.
Oh, boy, do y'all know. My God. You still got that sweatshirt?
Yeah, I absolutely still have that sweatshirt.
Oh, man. We have to tell y'all that story one day.
Listen. Hey, man, I'm telling you right now. I watched Tom Brady cook the fucking Irish year after year after year. Tom Brady was a bad motherfucker in college. The shit he was doing now, he was doing it in college. Why he went the 7th round, he came out in the combine with some khaki shorts on and all that other shit. But when it was his time to shine, that first Super Bowl, yeah, I get it. That could have went either way. But Tom Brady, hey, man, you know what a portion of greatness is people start to hate you because you're great.
Yeah.
Like, you can be so great that motherfuckers root for you to lose or are sick and tired of you winning. You'll hear it all the time. I just want to watch somebody else win. I'm kind of sick and tired of it. Like, you are so fucking great. And I'm sorry if the sound, for some reason, I don't know. This is what happens when you do remote shit. My headset just went out. So I'm just going in and, But you can be so great that, you're being hated for your greatness.
And I think that's a part of it, though. Right? You don't, like, you're good and then you do something great. And then once you do that great thing, that's when they put you on rotation. All right, that's when as this building, it's like all this promotion. And then you get under the pressure and then you deliver and then you become great. And like you said, and the beginning of it is great. It's great when you win a championship and then you got the parade, right? And they take you out and the whole city comes out and kisses your ass. But then what happens next season when you lose it? And then you don't make the playoffs. The crowd is not there with you. So what makes greatness, maintaining greatness hard is you're going to be hated after a while for what you work so hard to be great at, and what you still work busting your ass. If you want to be on top to work at, and you still working just as hard, and now people don't like. Look what they did to the what's the chick's name? The Saint Lizzo. They just had that huge,
yeah,
right. They pumped up, and then they start crucifying the ass.
They got to, because nobody wants to believe after a certain point that you're invincible.
Yes, sir.
There's a level of greatness that is reached sometimes to the point where you look and are perceived to be invincible. And there's no chink in the art. There's no chink in the armor. And then at that point, there is a bevy of individuals' jobs to find the chink in your fucking armor. And so now you have to elevate from the greatness that you already have achieved to then rise and become a symbol in which you are a role model, you're a symbol, you become hope. That's a motherfucker to think about. You absolutely become hope. People wish and hope to exhibit what you have obtained. People want to actually be you. I want to be like Mike. People wish, hope to be you. To at least, if not for nothing, at least do something that you did. Oh, Brickhouse has won 30 Emmys as a producer. Oh shit, this motherfucker's great. God damn, he's won 30 years in a row. Well, he's won 30 fucking awards. Like shit. Fuck. Well, god damn it. What the fuck is he doing? So then they start trying to find your model.
Oh yeah.
And they try to model themselves after you or create a den of it. You become the model in what you're doing. You are the one. You're fucking Neo. You're the one. You are the one. You are the GOAT. The best of all time. The greatest to ever do it. It's expected of you every fucking time.
And the challenge gets bigger.
And the challenge is bigger.
And the pressure gets more.
So do you walk away? Do you stay? And now all these things are swirling in your head. All of them. And you conquer it every time. That's what makes you great. We're not talking about good. We're talking about great. There's levels to greatness.
And so many things have to work in your favor. Did you see that thing? And it may have been. Oh, I just caught it a few weeks back. It was something, I think it was on ESPN, and they were talking about. It was a little segment on Jordan, and it was talking about him and the Nike deal.
Yes.
You saw that shit? How he didn't want to do the shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which in turn was the thing he didn't want to do and was so opposed to that he had to get forced to get talked into to get on a fucking private plane to fly to where's Nike out of
Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon. Right? Or to Oregon. Fly to fucking Oregon. He had his mind made up. He gets in there. They give him the pitch. They win him over. Now we have Jordan, as you know. They created the brand of Jordan. They made him the super athlete that he was after he did it. Again, not to take anything away from his talent. He had the talent. He was going to do what he was going to do, but the marketing campaign that went around him made him great.
Oh, they were great. Oh, my God. What?
That's why, and Nike was great.
You don't think Nike sold more shoes because Gatorade had a great campaign of I want to be like Mike? Come on, man.
Killer. Jordan doing McDonald's commercials. Was it him and Larry Bird?
Him and Larry Bird. They were playing horse.
You put two great people together now.
I mean, because now, but that's another part.
That's another part.
Once you're great, they're going to measure you up to another person of that plateau. Oh, are they as great as them? And now you're being compared with greatness. And so now you already had enough shit on your mind. Now you got to be conscious of what another motherfucker doing. And what's the first thing people say these days? Man, I ain't worried about what another motherfucker doing. And that's a level of greatness, or that's a characteristic of it. Yo, I'm not worried about what I'm doing. I'm the trendsetter. But you are paying absolute. Let me tell you something. You're paying attention to what another motherfucker's doing. Trust me. That notion, oh, I don't care what I know. I don't care what anybody else thinks. That's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. You care, and you're watching.
Yeah. You have to.
Why? Because you're a great motherfucker, and you want to continue to be. And that's another part of greatness. How do you handle it? How do you, not so much the skill of working and the work ethic and the dedication to work ethic and the skills and the constant wanting to evolve, but the fame that comes with it, the
distractions,
the distractions, the expectations that come with being great. Because make no mistake, all of those things are negatives and they all have the potential to stop what you're doing.
And some will.
You're doing. They're there for a purpose. It's a gift and a curse. They're there because the more people that are enamored, the more things that surround you because of your greatness, they build the story, they develop the story, they carry on the story of your greatness. You know, it makes it more valuable. But those things can have an inverse effect on you because you can get complacent. That's the first thing. You get complacent. Oh, shit, I'm the best. I'm chilling. You know, there's a certain arrogance there. Oh, shit, yo, man, I'm chilling. Man, you know who the fuck you talking to, man? I'm out here, baby. I'm the best. I'm the best to ever do it. Now, some motherfuckers won't say that shit, but they absolutely feel it. And when somebody comes along and challenges that, you rise. Yo, man, come on, let's go. Let's do this. Every great motherfucker has had a worthy adversary. That's another part to being great. Knocking down the worthy adversaries. It's just not dominating, because you can absolutely dominate, but it's dominating a motherfucker that's worthy as an opponent. Because to a certain degree, they are great, or they had the potential to be great, and you just shut them down. That's a portion too. And I don't know, man.
I remember, I think it was it my wife? I think it may have been my wife. I was having a conversation, and I think it was her, and she was like, "So if you could be placed into the body of an NBA player and be able to go play in the NBA right now, out of all the people that you like, who would you go play with?" And you know what my answer is. You already know. I wouldn't go play with none of them motherfuckers. Because then it's exactly what you just said. If I go and play with Wade or I go play with LeBron, I can never get compared to them. I'm not going in as a fan. I love them. I love watching them, and you know them teaming up and doing what they need to do is great. But if I'm in the league and I'm coming in and I'm able-bodied, I don't want to be on that team.
Oh yeah, because you old school, man.
They all great already.
Yeah,
I'm not great.
Idols become your rivals. Oh
That's
yeah.
it.
Hey, I'm trying to, because to be the best, you got to beat the best.
You got to beat the best. And if I never compete against you, there'll never be a narrative about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a factor. Yo, whoever is the number one contender or That's got skills. Yo, bring them on.
Bring them on.
Bring them on. I don't give a fuck. Bring them on.
I'll be here. And you can't win them all. You can't win them all. That's okay. But you will know that I was there. And that's just as important.
Yeah. I just need to display why I'm here.
Wow, that's it. As long as you can get that point across, that's all that really matters.
I'm willing to die in this motherfucker. I remember, you know what? There are moments where greatness, it's a difference now, because I talked about not the non-anticipation of greatness, right? Then there is when greatness is on display and you get an alternative outcome. And it was great. You were shocked and you were shocked because it didn't go it was still a great moment, but you were shocked because you didn't expect it to happen the way it did, and you experienced greatness. Glenn Johnson, Roy Jones.
Oh, man.
Glenn Johnson, Roy Jones, that might have been 2005?
That's what I was thinking. Something like that.
2005, 2006. Just Google Glenn Johnson, Roy Jones, two boxers. Roy Jones, heavyweight champion of the world. Roy Jones, a phenomenal fighter, like a boxer and fighter. Roy Jones was he was something to witness.
He was.
At one point, they were talking about Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember. And Roy would fight you ambidextrous. He'd switch up on you in the middle of the fight.
Yeah. He man, Roy was, whew.
But then
he was something else, right? And then, because it's a Saturday night, HBO. It wasn't up all night. It was a
championship boxing.
Right. He fights Glenn Johnson from Florida, a construction worker, foreigner, boxer. And he steps in the ring with him, and he gets mauled. From round one, he's great. Everybody knows he's great. His opponent, Glenn Johnson, knows that he's great. And Glenn Johnson didn't give a fuck about his greatness at all. And he worked his motherfucking ass for 9 goddamn rounds and knocked that son of a bitch out with a left hook.
For 30 minutes.
9 fucking rounds. Roy Jones was knocked out on the canvas, sleep. And what does Glenn Johnson say?
That was the greatest line.
I'm not the best. I'm just the man willing to fight the best. I'm telling you right now, I watched Glenn Johnson fight Antonio Tarver for the championship belt and have a few more signature fights thereafter. I guarantee you that was the greatest night of his life. I'm telling you. Besides his kids being born, and it all depends on his priorities. I'm not speaking for the man. I'm assuming having kids born is kind of high because, society says so. But, I mean, we can definitely get into that on another show because I have an opinion on that.
Uh-oh.
I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't. I don't. I don't give a fuck. Come on. and bad decisions, Koffe probably gave a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Wait a minute, hold on. I said that wrong. Truth about lies, Koffe Black might have gave a fuck.
There you go.
Bad decisions, Koffe Black doesn't give a fuck at all. Like, come on. No, but listen, man. That was a great night. It was shock. I'm a Roy Jones fan, and I was in awe. Sometimes certain things can happen in which it's so jarring. You have no choice but to you have no choice but to just concede to what you just witnessed. You don't know how to feel. A lot of times it's described after witnessing greatness. I don't know. You know what the number one thing said is, I don't know what I just witnessed.
It takes time to process that shit.
What the fuck did I just see? Do you remember Dave Matthews Band? Weekend at the Rocks? That venue that's like embedded in a mountain.
Oh yeah.
And this was guys. I don't even know the year, but it was Dave Matthews Band Weekend at the Rocks. They performed Louisiana Bayou, and I showed you that performance.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching it because I didn't expect it. And I was like, oh my God, I think that might be the greatest music performance I've ever seen. Of musicianship, like they rocked out. That might be the greatest live performance I'd ever seen. And remember, I watched that shit for like 6 months, every day. And you saw it and you were like, holy shit, this, even you. And remember, I showed my dad. I showed my fucking father, and my father was like, he like gave like this dissertation on like how powerful music is. Because people were losing their fucking minds. It was like they were hypnotized by what was happening, and like. That's what I'm saying. You feel it. If you're a spectator, you feel it. If you're the one providing that feeling, you feel it. And it's addictive. Incredibly addictive. And I encourage everybody to witness greatness, be a part of it, and also just strive to be great. Strive to be fucking great, man. It sucks. And it's hard. It's horrible. And it's going to feel like shit. But I promise you, there is triumph in misery. And if you're the best at it, like right now, at this very moment right now, every fucking nurse, medical employee, head surgeon, nurse, doctor, general doctor, medical assistant, CNA, LPN, you guys are going through hell right now. I guarantee you, when this is over, you will be deemed as great. You were soldiers on the front fucking line. Some of you are great because you stood for what was right, and some of you are going to be great because you stood in there and you fought the fight. And there's going to be a couple that, you know, they gave the ultimate sacrifice, their life.
They did, yeah,
for the fight. And
yeah,
listen, in history, you will be remembered as such. And I know it's not enough to just be remembered or this, that, and other, but let me tell you something. There will be a grave value in it. You'll be part of history, and you'll be revered for it. And you can't see it now because it's nowhere near in your face now. But I implore you that you will be. And that's how we gonna end that. It's April 19th, the Jordan documentary. Greatness, the best example of it ever. That we've got. Michael Jordan, everybody knows the name. I'm Koffe Black, Jack Brickhouse. We'll see y'all. Calling Audibles.
Ain't got the time, do the dime I want. Been up in the sky, I won't. Let a nigga waste your motherfucking time, I won't. That'll be a crime, I don't ever wanna make you think I'ma go far, I am. But real on whatever I want. You ain't know that I'm the motherfucking man I am. Scooby never slacking on fronts. I can make a shit splash, I'ma dash on way. Got a whole lot of cash in the stash on way. Got a chick in the whip with the cool on way. That's game for the team, we don't lose on way, on way, on